Hello everyone and welcome to this Filmstro review video. Today I'm going to be talking you through everything you need to know about Filmstro, and as usual, if you do have any questions, please leave them in the comment section down below. I'll also be leaving a discounted link in this video's description so that you can always get your money's worth for Filmstro. So Filmstro is an all-in-one software and website that basically allows you to create the perfect music for whatever type of media content that you are producing. It could be a music video, it could be an advert, it could be absolutely anything, and what you're able to do is create and find the perfect songs for you to use in that production. So as you can see here, this is what our page looks like. Now under the Browse Music section, everything's categorized really nicely. So we have new releases, seasonal and trending. You could search based on the mood of the song, the genre of the music, or even whether you want the video genre to be different as well. You then also have the My Sessions tab, which are basically all of the things you've created. We'll get onto that in a bit. And then also the My Favorites tab. You can turn on and off tooltips, which basically also gives you the Edit tab, but that is basically more of an editing software for the music once you've found what you want. So we'll get onto that a little bit later, but what we need to do is actually find and secure a piece of music that we like. So say, for example, we wanted a happy and uplifting theme for an advert that we're using. So what we'll do is hit the mood, and we have these choices. We have adventurous, aggressive, combative, or shock, carefree, cheeky, and confident and exhilarated. And moving on, we have all of these other ones. I won't read all of them out, but what we want to find is one that is happy, whatever we would sort of find that is the nearest to that. So I would say that's joyful. And then what we have is a list of all of these. So what I'm going to do is make sure that the system audio is going through my mic, and we'll listen to them very shortly. So, for instance, let's listen to this one here. It gives us the key and the tempo, which is also really useful. If you want to blend it from another piece of music at any point, you're able to do that as well. You would simply make sure that you identify the original key, and you can blend it into the exact same one. So let's listen to this one here in C, and we'll listen to what this sounds like. So there we have one. That's quite a sort of electronic based one. It's not if you would want a more relaxing or orchestral one, then you wouldn't have something like that. Let's move on to another category and see, sort of just so that you guys get an idea of how closely it relates. So whether you think that it's slightly, related to being joyful, I'd say that was very joyful. So we'll do contemplative. Now we'll move on to this, and we'll have a little look at what they've got. We'll do this one here. This is in G, and it's 67 BPM. So there we have it. And we then have also two other options to do with this piece. Now what you can do is you can add it to your favorites, very simply hitting that button there, and then you'll be able to access that at any time from up here. Or you can hit this add pencil button, and this will add it to your edit page, where you're able to change pretty much every aspect of the music besides the actual melody. So on the left, we have minimum mix, maximum mix, composer's mix, and blank. These are basically just the different mixes that you've got for them, which might have different properties applied depending on the different scenarios that you want to use the piece in. Then on the right, we have the three main options that we can change. We can change the momentum, or rather the speed of the song, the depth of the song, and the power. So we can also change the snap, latch, and audition. So if we were to turn this all the way up, we would then be able to play it and hear the difference. So you will have to select a mix before you do that, and then we can adjust these settings. So moving the momentum up about halfway, what this will do is, you can see on the timeline below, what it allows you to do is essentially these different color lines are what we have down here. So when you change these, the lines will basically change and show you what that difference that you've made is. So move the momentum right up to the max, and then we'll give this a little listen.
Filmstro.com. Filmstro.com.
So as you can see, these were moving along. So you can change at different times, essentially, what it looks like. Now, hovering over it, you can see it says you can use these to create keyframes. So basically, from point A to point B, in case you don't know what a keyframe is, it's typically a term used in video editing. However, it can be for music production, anything like that. A keyframe is basically where you set one point at one sort of time and then another point later on. And then the difference that you have in a particular effect from that original point to the second point will change over time. So for example, you could have zoom on a video editing software. You would hit keyframe at the beginning and then keyframe at the next point where the zoom would go to 100. So over that period of time, it would go from 0 to 100. You could change it to linear, you can change it to whatever you want. However, you also have options on here to make it linear and not linear and things like that. So that's basically what these are and what these do. You can also add out shapes, in length and out length. So these are basically the lengths of transitions. As you can see, you can hover over them and see what they correlate to. And then up here, you can go back to your mixes if you want to make a different mix. And then at this bottom one here, you can enable or disable all of your different tracks. So by hearing here, you can solo tracks. You can see the volume of each one of them. So I can get rid of this one here, and it would get rid of basically the main aspect of it. And soloing each of the tracks allows you to solo all the different aspects. So doing track 1, where you can only hear the deep double basses and cellos. You then have 5, which is completely just the piano. As you can see. So there's loads of different things that you can do, and when you're actually finished, you can zoom in and out of the timeline if you want to, but then you can go ahead and hit export. Now once you've done this, you can export the soundtrack or you can export the template. We'll do the soundtrack, and what this will do is render it on their servers for you. As you can see, these will go up and down in correlation to where it is on the actual piece, and once it's done, it will go to this download page at the bottom where you're then able to use a cloud download for it. Clicking here, you can then view all of your sessions. So as we were talking about earlier, every time you have a session or a piece that you've actually edited, this is where you'll be able to find it. You can go ahead, rename it, delete, or by simply just clicking on it, you can open it up by hitting the arrow. Also, as we remember earlier, we favorited this piece of music. It's now gone into our favorites tab. So that is all really, really easy to navigate. It's very easy to use as well. And that is one thing I like about it. The actual editing thing is more or less just increasing the timbre of it. You can also increase all of those options, as you can see, those 3 options with keyframes to make it at different points, and all of that combined just makes a really great video, rather a music software that is just absolutely great for creating perfect music in the perfect time for your actual production. So there we have it. So what do I think about Filmstro? And in all honesty, I really like it. I think that the intuition that it requires is completely down low. It's very easy to use. I love the amount and the vast library of songs that they actually let you use and use for your productions and videos like that. The fact that they're all completely royalty free to be able to use, and it's very easy to make the perfect adjustments for them to actually work really well with whatever you're making is also really handy. The keyframe idea built into a software is awesome, and I like the fact there's just a really large amount that they're everything categorized into really nice sort of emotions and feelings, so you can find exactly the correct type of music for whatever your video is actually about. That's what I really like. So why might people want to use this? I'll say the answer to that is fairly simple. People who do not want to be spending loads of money on, renting out or rather buying the license for pieces of music, this, where you get all of them completely copyright and royalty free for you, is absolutely brilliant, whereas completely free to use. Also, the fact that when you buy or rather license a piece, that is not really able to be edited that much, and you'd have to do that in an external software as well. So you're getting 2 birds with 1 stone with this. You're being able to edit non-copyright, non-royalty free music. So really, really handy, really useful, and that is why I would recommend it. But thank you everyone so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video, but until then, goodbye.